Hey, Facebook Live. Hope you are doing well. I'm right here in my office. This is the final day, and we are leaving in just a few hours. Of course, you can hear the rooster behind me. And man, it's been great. I'm wearing my sweater right now because I'm a wuss, and it's probably 73 degrees out here with the breeze. So I have, I'm all bundled up because it's nice and cool right now. Hey, if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to comment. I want to tell you 5 things that I learned. I'm going to rattle off really quick. As you know, I am pretty sore because yesterday went on a fishing expedition, not a fishing, a sea adventure expedition with Captain Andy. Last night we ended it at a luau. I don't know if you can see this or not, but that's a picture of the luau that we went to. It was a lot of fun. Stopped with the fire person, which is pretty cool. Now you can see all of these pictures on my timeline. Let's see here. So I'm able to show you a picture of the dolphin. There were dolphins literally on the side of my vessel, which is pretty cool. Not a shabby rainbow, although you can't see it except like right there. Pretty amazing stuff. There are the porpoises right there. Pretty cool stuff. So 5 things to know about all this. Hey, Barbara, you should do one of these things from Curacao. It's good to see you. All right, so we'll start with the beginning here. Kauai is really the highest island to the north. There are a couple of smaller islands that are restricted, but this is the last public island that you can be in. It's I think it's about 100 or 200 square miles. There are only 70,000 people who live here, which is wonderful. Unfortunately, there's only one road for the entire island, so that can jam up at times. And the road looks like a loop when you assume a little too much. It actually does not connect. And furthermore, there's some mudslides at the top. It's really gorgeous around here. When we looked at the map, when we planned out our trip, we saw, oh gosh, since it's not a loop and since it doesn't connect, that's not cool, because if we stay at the end of the loop, then we're going to spend all our time trying to drive to the other side. So we centrally located ourselves, which is good. Most of the population is right in the middle in these 2 towns, and the traffic can get pretty bad at a couple of certain times. Now, for digital nomad types, be encouraged, because here's the second thing. That was general. Second thing is, if you want to get work done, you can actually get work done around here, because the Starbucks opens at 4:30 in the morning. Actually, today I went to another Starbucks that opens at 4 in the morning on a Saturday, and that is just amazing. I think it's for all the jet-lagged mainlanders like myself, so you can actually get stuff done. I've been coming every day to the Starbucks at about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and the ocean is right across the road over there. You can't see it very well, so it's great. You come, you get in the zone for about 2.5 hours at 4 in the morning, and then then it starts getting bright, and then you go across the street and you watch the sunrise, which takes all of about 2 minutes, and it's a very wonderful contemplative thing to do. And you can work right out there on the beach. You can get your phone all tethered and to your laptop, and you can do all kinds of things. So you got the Starbucks. You also have, I went to a different coffee shop that was connected to a new co-working facility. They were actually installing the little Nest security system at the co-working facility. So now they have co-working here on an island of only 70,000 people to help people get things done. I think that really puts you on the map. Now you asked me, Nathan, what's the advantage? Why not go to Oahu, or why not go to the main island, or the large island of Maui? Well, it works out great here in Kauai because there's hardly any people here. It does get a little jammed up traffic, but I think it's just off the chart beautiful. And Honolulu, by comparison, Oahu, the island, has about 1 million people on it. There's about 1.5 million people in Hawaii. There's only 70,000 of those people on this island. So you've got coffee plantations, you've got all kinds of things that you can do. The weather guy around here, you show up and you're like, oh, bummer, it's going to rain all week. But they always show rain. It's never rained significantly. It's actually raining now. And it may very well clear up. So that's really good. Hey, if you have any questions about what I learned this week, feel free to send them right in. Let's see here. Okay, so here's what I learned about snorkeling. So I was with Captain Andy yesterday, and I have experience with crazy captains and being basically a hostage on a vessel for a whole day at a time, because that's what my dad used to do. So it was very bouncy, and my body is extremely sore. But we went snorkeling, and so the first time you ever go snorkeling, there's something very disorienting about breathing with your head down. And imagine putting your head in the water with this weird thing on and still breathing. And that was the most difficult thing to do. This is the delivery guy. He always shows up about this time. That means it's time to cut my thing short. Noisy delivery truck. Noisy. So I do my first dive. I can see fish at the end. I do my second dive, and I'm diving with a sea turtle, which is pretty amazing. With a sea turtle. It was awesome. He was about 15 feet away. Give me a heads up how distracting that is. Looks like he's parking now, I hope. So that was pretty cool. You get salt water in your mouth, which is not very pleasant at all. But it is pretty cool thing to be able to do anyway. There were sea turtles 15 feet away. It was just pretty amazing situation. There's a dude. There he is. Shows up every day. This time so obnoxious. What can I say? So the surf around here, number 3, surf around here is very, very dangerous. You don't want to take it lightly. 2 days ago, a lady got swept out to sea again in kind of a forbidden, roped off area. The surf has been very high. So she was completely swept out to sea, and that brings like the tally from 29 to 30 people who have died at that particular place. The current is extremely strong here, and the most difficult thing that's very deceptive, because I actually took the boogie board out. I was going to do some swimming, and the whole shore where we were has like a rock on it. So there's breakers in the water. There's lava in the water that's dried. There's lava on the beach that's dried. And I mean, it's like I know raspberries from skateboarding down hills unsuccessfully, and you fall off and the asphalt grinds your flesh when you fall off your skateboard. Well, this is even sharper. A lava is like an extra sharp asphalt when you get going. This actually happened just a tiny bit to Angela yesterday. We were snorkeling and we got back on the boat, and I noticed her. She had a tiny little cut that was bleeding on her knee because she actually got washed into a coral reef. And so it's not like a sword. It's not gonna cut you to the touch, but combined with a strong current that you really don't have control over, it really can bloody you up if you're not careful. So fortunately, it was extremely as minimal as it could have been for my wife. Now, number 4 here, things we saw. We went to the lighthouse, which is a national historic national park reserve thing. You need your pass to go to the lighthouse. That was amazing. Went to the Hanalei surfing village, which was kind of cool. It was a little crowded. Went to the Hanapepe swinging bridge, which is like a giant jungle gym for grown-up. We went to the glass beach, which had more beer bottle broken glass than actual sea glass, but it was still pretty cool. And there were some like spout holes that were embedded into the side there that you wouldn't have normally seen. We went on the Kauai coffee plantation tour, which was fun. I always like good coffee plantation tours, although it wasn't nearly as good as the Don Juan's coffee plantation tour in Costa Rica. This was a little bit larger operation right there. And then we went, Captain Andy's boat tour, to say nothing of a whole bunch of other fun places that we had visited. We went to the Smith family luau, which was quite a production last night. Now, let's talk about deals. So number 5, we're going to talk expensive versus cheap. Okay, some things here are very expensive and some things here are not as expensive. And I found is very interesting because the large chains seem to, I don't know if it's a loss leader or something. There is a Ross right there. There's a Ross. There is a McDonald's over there. We got Starbucks right here. And those big chains and big brands actually keep about the same pricing. Like there's some good deals at Ross. McDonald's here has a $6.50 like value meal Big Mac or a quarter pounder with cheese, which is actually less expensive than what it costs in Delaware. So I don't understand that too much. It's actually less expensive to get a value meal at McDonald's here than it is in Delaware. The Starbucks here, it's about $2.50 for coffee, which is good. Now, contrast that with, you go anywhere else for a craft coffee, even though they make some of it on the island. I paid like $6 at the Snooty place just for regular coffee. Breakfast here will run you $15 to $20 for an omelet. A lot of places that you go. There is a place called Buddy's or Bubba's Burgers right here in Kapaa. And Bubba's Burgers is actually less expensive than going to Jake's or Five Guys back at home, which is pretty cool. So I don't really understand. There are super touristy places, and then there are like regular seating places, and then there are these other places that just seem to give you really amazing value. That is just kind of the way it is. Fuel here is not as expensive as I thought it would be. I mean, it's expensive. It's about $3.75, which I think is less than in California right now. It's about $2.20, $2.15 in Delaware when we left, which has some of the lowest gas in the nation. I was expecting it to be about double. We got such good fuel economy on our car that we only filled it up once. And so it's been very, very simple that way. So anyway, that's what I learned. Normally, I would tell you about the digital nomad product that I am validating right now. Actually, it's not validating with my friend Ricky. It hasn't validated. So we're probably not going to do that, or we're going to scale it back and we're going to raise the price for the people that want just one of the 4 episodes that I was originally intending to produce. It's just not worth it for me to impose on Ricky's time. I'm not going to do that with just a handful of people actually investing and buying into it at the level that I had originally set. So we're probably going to either not do it at all or scale it way back and just do one episode. And we're not going to have episodes. We're going to have standalone products with a little bit of a discount for people doing more things. Now, who just gave me a like? Somebody's doing likes all over the place. But anyway, we're not going to create that until we validate. What's the other thing? I did a Udemy course with Scott Patton, who has about 150,000 students. The Udemy course that I just did with Scott, I'm looking, and 2,000 students have already at least began taking that course, which is just great. I know it's going to help a lot of people. If you want information on that, and actually if you're willing to write a short review right after you begin watching that, you don't have to complete the whole thing. The thing that we want right now are reviews. Just watch a couple of episodes, short ones, and then write a review, and I can, in exchange for that, really incentivize you. Just reach out privately for me on that. All right, well, we are flying back to Delaware in about 6 hours from now. I know I'm going to have to get bundled back up at that time, but it's been a great vacation. What a great way. My wife had just recertified for some of her professional tests, which are very, very, very arduous. As you know, we recently passed 300 episodes on Be the Talk podcast, so that was a little bit of a reward for me for doing one podcast interview every single day this year, and I'm going to continue doing that until we close out the year. And we will have 365 episodes as of January 31st. I have already recorded 340 episodes of Be the Talk podcast. They're not all released right now, but I've recorded them, so plenty in advance for me to take a little, week, 6-day little vacation here. I must say I am pretty chilled out right now. I am pretty not really in the working mood anymore, and I guess that's what this place does to you. I've never smoked illegal drugs or legal drugs at this point. I've never smoked that, but I feel as if I was kind of smoking pot all week because I'm just kind of really relaxed and don't particularly want to do any work tomorrow or Monday. But anyway, this has been a great experience. I highly recommend it, and wish you all the best as you contemplate coming out here to Kauai and being a digital nomad. I love it because the folks that were smoking their cigarette right over there at my normal seat, who've been sitting there this whole time, and finally decided to leave at the end of my Facebook Live. And you say to me, Nathan, how rude for you. Well, they were smoking their cigarette. They took my seat. That has been my seat every single morning. Every single morning, that has been my seat. And right when I pulled up, they sat down at like 5 in the morning. Who does that? Okay, can you believe the nerve? Take care, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you soon when I'm back in Delaware.